Welcome, everyone. The event is now live. John, please take it away.
Thanks, Victoria. Hi, everyone. Welcome to today's live Tech Talk, Microsoft Unified Support Myths, How to Get More Support for Less Budget. This event was organized by the hardworking folks at Redmond Magazine, and it's sponsored by US Cloud, the world's only independent third-party provider of full replacement for Microsoft Premier and Unified Support. I'm John K. Waters, Editor-in-Chief of Converge 360 Group of 1105 Media, and I'm joined today by Enterprise Software Support Expert Mike Jones. Hey, Mike.
Hey, John. How you doing?
Hey, man.
You too.
I want to tell the folks a little about you. During his 26 years in the Microsoft IT space, Mike has served as a senior systems administrator, a lead systems engineer/architect, a Microsoft design architect, and a senior solutions architect, effectively spanning the Microsoft corporate partner ecosystem. He is one of my favorite interviewees, and we're lucky to have him here today. I've got to do a little bit of housekeeping before we get going. Let's see. Oh, yeah, I want to remind everyone that this Tech Talk is being recorded for later access. Keep an eye out for an email with a link to that recording. It'll be coming your way in the next few days. Our sponsor has provided some extra resources you definitely don't want to miss. They're available now on your console. At the end of this conversation, we'll have a 5 to 10 minute Q&A. Please type your questions into the Q&A box as they occur to you. We'll do our best to get to all of them. Now I'm going to take one more moment to clarify what we'll be talking about today. As Microsoft Unified Support costs continue to climb, many organizations struggle to determine whether they're truly getting value for their support spend. With complex pricing models, formula-based fees, and hidden costs, Microsoft Unified Support can often feel less unified and more difficult to navigate. And to add to this, the ongoing challenges of slow response times and outsourced support. And it's no surprise that enterprises are looking for alternatives to optimize both budget and service quality. Mike is the perfect guy to talk to about this. He's going to help us to dispel some of the biggest myths around Microsoft Unified Support, and he'll share his thoughts on how companies can maximize their support budgets without sacrificing quality. We'll be discussing the common misconceptions of, again, unified support, dig into the real costs, and offer guidance on choosing the best support option for your business needs. Okay, Mike, what are some of the biggest misconceptions about unified support in Microsoft Unified, and how can organizations protect against hidden costs?
Yeah, so, I think it's important to know, Microsoft Unified advertises itself as an unlimited support model, but really in reality, that only applies to reactive incidents, so break-fix incidents and more do-it-yourself online support capabilities. The things that are not included in this unlimited model are essentially your proactive engineer-led services, where those require additional fees or credits to be purchased on the onset of that contract. So it's additional costs that are avoided. So for customers that are looking to avoid that, you should really audit your agreements very carefully and what's included in the conditions of the services they are providing. Identify any of the potential add-ons and costs associated to those add-ons for those engineer-led services, or what they call proactive services, and compare those to options like us at US Cloud provide, which, we are based strictly on actual usage. So it's a needs-based model versus just additional tack-on add-ons to really get what your core support needs.
So how does the formula-driven pricing of Microsoft Unified impact budgets? I'm wondering what steps companies can take to ensure transparency of these costs.
Yeah, so essentially, Microsoft's formula is based on a percentage of your software spend, so your licensing spend. So the easy way to kind of approach that methodology is look at your server, cloud, and user licensing spend. And from that, they take a percentage of that overall cost in those three areas and formulate a cost of your support. Here's your support cost. So it's really strictly based on what you purchase, not what you need. Companies should really ask for a detailed breakdown of those costs and how they are calculated, because Microsoft will use different percentages and discounting for different customers. So I always encourage them to ask, or even better yet, go to a third party that specializes in these types of services, and broadcast from them their opinions and recommendations on discrepancies. What we like to do from a U.S. cloud standpoint is we offer a very predictable rate locked pricing, really helping companies with their budget and making sure it's more effective and efficient.
Are there steps companies should take to evaluate whether they're overpaying for support, especially when comparing Microsoft Unified to third-party options?
Yeah, I mean, companies should conduct a very comprehensive audit of their support needs, their costs, their service levels, and compare these to all of their options available. That includes Microsoft Direct for Unified. That includes third-party providers like us at US Cloud. We offer a free consultation. We offer proof of concept, or what we call our POC trials, so customers can really get in and utilize the service and see how the fit works for them. It allows them to assess the cost savings and the benefits without a long-term commitment. So I would encourage them to do all of those things and really look at what do you actually need in your support from a services and support standpoint before moving forward with any of these options.
Say more about that proof of concept trial with US Cloud. How does it work, and why might this be a low-cost option for businesses considering the switch?
Yeah, so US Cloud offers a 30-day proof of concept, or again, as we call it, a POC trial, where companies can really get in, test the services without a long-term commitment. It allows them to experience, one, our service quality. It allows you to look at our response times and how we're engaging with you on services like reactive break fix and proactive or advisory or consultative services. And essentially, it's a low-risk way of looking at how do we evaluate someone like US Cloud as a realistic alternative to unified support.
Fascinating. So how does US Cloud support model address, I guess what I would say are the common frustrations with response and resolution times that are experienced under Microsoft Unified?
Yeah, so our lovely graphics here kind of tell the story, don't they? So, what we see is with Unified is you're seeing costs go up and quality go down. Those are going in the opposite direction of what you really want them to for your organization. So US Cloud offers a significantly faster response time across the board. Microsoft's most aggressive response time is 15 minutes, or what they call Azure Rapid Response, which gives you a 15-minute callback target, quote unquote, for your Azure-related critical situation incidents only. All other ones are a 1-hour response. With US Cloud, we offer a 15-minute initial response, all technologies, all severity levels. So we're faster to respond to customers' incidents. And by the way, those are financially backed SLAs. So we have skin in the game when it comes to that. And, on overall quality, I'll compare this very simply. We resolve around 85% of all of our customer incidents in-house without the need to escalate back to the OEM, aka Microsoft. That is a huge statistic that we are super proud of, that not a lot of partners, CSPs, vendors, managed services in this space can ever get close to. It's usually the opposite, where they can typically resolve around 20 to 25%. So, unlike Microsoft Unified, where you can experience delays with, due to outsourcing. A big majority of Microsoft support is outsourced to other third-party vendors, where US Cloud essentially is 100% US-based resources. We provide a streamlined expert support that essentially equates to quicker resolution.
Those are some impressive numbers. I've got another number here. U.S. Cloud ensures that 85% of tickets are resolved in-house without escalation to Microsoft. I'm sure this is a great number for organizations concerned about service quality. Say more about that.
Yeah. So as I was saying, when it comes to the 85%, we post our stats transparent to our current customers, and we actually provide some statistics right on our website as this slick shows. So if you go to uscloud.com, you can see our live metrics. We don't hide behind numbers. We staff only highly experienced, Microsoft certified, tried and true engineers who resolve most of those issues independently. As an example, as we talked about, in 2023, this is a statistic for the whole year of 23, 85%, right on the dot, were solved in-house, thanks to those very specialized high-level resources, reducing U.S. Cloud's dependency on Microsoft escalations and essentially ensuring a smoother experience overall with their Microsoft support experience.
Fascinating. Absolutely fascinating. So what are the advantages of U.S. Cloud's financially backed SLAs that you're talking about here compared with Microsoft's unified support level expectations?
Simply put, our financially backed SLAs at U.S. Cloud, they provide a contractual commitment to the service quality and the response times, which is not consistently enforced in Microsoft Unified, and I'm sure customers can attest to that. This assurance basically gives you a peace of mind, knowing your support performance is guaranteed, and we are financially accountable.
So how does U.S. Cloud's approach to high severity tickets compare with Microsoft Unified Service? I'm thinking particularly in terms of time to resolution.
So we prioritize rapid resolution. We have essentially three pillars that we focus on. It's responsiveness, engagement, and resolution. When we're talking about resolution, we prioritize that rapid resolution. So we have a high severity ticket resolution, which averages just over 3 hours on average. So every high severity case of all Microsoft technologies, we're resolving on average around 3 hours of billable engineer time. This is substantially faster than Microsoft Unified in all the data that we have looked at, which they often face delays due to, again, back to their offshoring, which is third-party vendors providing the support and high escalation rates. So our SLA-backed commitment ensures that faster resolutions occur on those critical issues.
Okay, so help me understand the difference between Microsoft's use of customer service account managers and U.S. Cloud's approach with what you guys call dedicated technical account managers. CSAMs versus TAMs, I guess.
The CSAM versus TAM conversation. So it helps to add a little bit of context historically. Microsoft in the old days under Premier Classic model, which was the prior evolution before Unified, Premier support, you used to have a technical account manager assigned to your account. They were typically very service-driven advocates to the service on the Microsoft side to provide a technical expertise to your overall service delivery management in the service. Microsoft has since adjusted that from a TAM model to a CSAM model, which is a customer success account manager. And those CSAMs, essentially what they do is they are sales quota driven, which a lot of customers don't know. So they are driven to drive cloud quota increase and cloud productivity in customers' environments. That's their primary job. Yes, there are some really good CSAMs in the environment, but don't overlook that fact that they are less technical and they are focused on sales versus actual account management. We assign TAMs. U.S. Cloud assigns TAMs. We believe in that technical expertise. We believe in the T in the TAM for being technical. And we're dedicated, to client accounts with our TAMs, ensuring a very personalized, proactive support that's effective in addressing complex issues and maintaining that service quality that customers expect.
There's got to be a lot of companies out there that rely solely on Microsoft Unified support, and I'm just wondering about some of the pitfalls associated with that strategy, and how third-party providers like US Cloud can help.
So companies that rely solely on Microsoft Unified may face slower response times, more frequent escalations within the teams at Microsoft to get to the right person to help you solve the problem, and minimal proactive support without paying extra. And that's the add-ons that we spoke about earlier. US Cloud's model provides a faster, dedicated support with higher in-house resolution rates, making it a better fit for most enterprises that really are seeking a consistent and reliable service for their organization.
Makes sense. Okay, so how can businesses take advantage of US Cloud's domestic US-based engineering teams to improve support quality and security?
Yeah, so US Cloud's 100% US-based team ensures that no support interactions are outsourced, for one. Second, we enhance our data security and we support sovereignty. So your data is staying within the US, and we're bringing a US-based resource from the get-go all the way through resolution on your experience. It reduces customers' risk of data exposure. It allows businesses to comply with domestic regulations like GDPR in our, in Europe and EU, and any of those segment-based, like HIPAA for healthcare as an example, or ISO compliance, which is advantageous for those sectors like healthcare, finance, and the government.
Fascinating. I'm not sure you guys break things out this way, but in case you do, are there industries that particularly benefit from US Cloud's proactive and reactive support services over Microsoft Unified?
Well, first I'll say we love all sectors within business from a enterprise standpoint, but highly regulated industries, sure, such as finance, healthcare, government, they benefit from US Cloud's domestic engineering teams and proactive support. Those industries require both high security standards and compliance with strict regulations, which are better supported through US Cloud's dedicated onshore support model.
Makes sense. Okay, so can you explain how US Cloud's proactive services, I'm thinking of things like system health checks and migration support, how does that complement their reactive support model, or your reactive support model?
Sure. So US Cloud offers a range of proactive services, a full services catalog, from health checks to migrations to planning to design to trainings, you name it, all the way through design and implementation and migrations of existing Microsoft technologies. It spans the entire Microsoft stack. We're there to identify and address issues before they impact operations. It's a very proactive approach, thus the name, and we believe in that. It complements our reactive support. It creates essentially a holistic support solution that reduces downtime and improves reliability within the customer's environment.
So you talked about this a little bit earlier, but can you say more about US Cloud's commitment to support sovereignty and the elimination of offshore support, and why that matters for data security?
Yeah, let's hit it again because it is that important. I mean, US Cloud's support sovereignty commitment means all client data is handled domestically without offshore outsourcing. This practice significantly reduces the risk of data breaches, which has been a pretty hot topic for a lot of organizations lately, and ensures compliance with domestic security requirements. Their sensitive information across all industries.
Okay, so how should organizations approach contract negotiations with Microsoft? This is a big deal, I know, especially if they're exploring third-party options like U.S. Cloud for additional leverage.
Well, the first thing I'll tell them to do is come talk to us. Come talk to U.S. Cloud, get a quote. Organizations should utilize those quotes from U.S. Cloud and other third-party providers as leverage in their negotiations. So that allows the customer to push for more favorable unified terms, or consider a full switch. U.S. Cloud can provide that competitive quote to help strengthen your negotiating position. It's a no-brainer.
Fascinating. I got one more question for you. What considerations should businesses keep in mind when transitioning from Microsoft Unified to U.S. Cloud to ensure a minimal disruption?
There's a few things I would note that U.S. Cloud provides to help streamline and make that less impactful to an organization. It's a big decision, so we understand that. So we try to minimize any of the risk and minimize any of the disruption to customers in their Microsoft operations. So we have a very methodical onboarding process that includes dedicated support from a technical account manager, aka the TAM, live onboarding sessions, tailored transition planning, including managing open tickets with Microsoft and making sure that those are re-ingested and prioritized back into our support offering. Same thing with ongoing projects, understanding where that transition will occur and picking up where they were at the current point with Microsoft. It just ensures a smooth handoff. We're trying to create an environment that has minimal operational disruption.
Okay, fascinating. That's all the questions I've got, but we've got some questions from attendees. We want to remind everyone that you can type your questions into the Q&A box at any time. We'll do our best to get to all of them. Let's see here. We've got a question here from Vic, who's wondering, how does U.S. Cloud's rate lock feature protect against rising support costs, and why might that be advantageous over Microsoft's cost structure?
Well, good question, Vic. So I'll answer that by saying essentially that U.S. Cloud's rate lock feature provides stable pricing throughout the contract period, preventing annual price hikes often seen with Microsoft Unified in the contracts they structure. That stability allows clients to budget confidently, usually avoiding 10 to 12% increases, which are very common in years 2 and 3 under Microsoft's current model.
That makes sense. Okay, we've got another question here from Tori, who's wondering, what advice would you give to companies facing cost increases in years 2 and 3 of Microsoft Unified, and how can U.S. Cloud's predictable pricing model mitigate this?
Companies, customers should review their unified contracts for upcoming price increases. And that's the time to consider switching to U.S. Cloud for a more predictable model. Our fixed rate locked contracts eliminate those unexpected cost jumps, and it really allows companies to allocate resources efficiently and confidently, which is what customers are screaming for nowadays with the change in just the overall economy and business adapting year to year. It's very important that they have that option.
Okay, we've got a really specific question here from Walter, who's wondering, for businesses looking to cut support costs by 30 to 50%, like I said, specific, what specific budgeted advantages does U.S. Cloud offer over Microsoft Unified? We've got a smart crowd here.
Yeah, so I mean, we state earlier that we typically save 30 to 50%. It's part of our value prop, right? And we stand behind that. So we typically will save customers 30 to 50% on their support costs by essentially, we're eliminating the inflated pricing model of Microsoft Unified, how costs continually go up year over year. There's never a steady level cost association with support directly with Microsoft. Our rate lock feature prevents any unexpected price hikes that they may see with other providers or Microsoft directly, where clients, they only pay for the hours they need. That ensures them cost efficiency. It avoids overcharges tied to unused services that they may currently be purchasing either through another provider or Microsoft Unified Direct.
I have a quick question myself. Did we talk about best practices? Just off the top of your head, could you maybe share some of the best practices when it comes to dealing with Microsoft and just this third-party support business? I think it's scary for a lot of companies. They don't want to look. Nobody wants to make Microsoft mad, right?
No one wants to make Microsoft mad, or at least they don't until they do, right? So from a best practices standpoint, do your diligence, right? It starts internally with the customers. When you're looking at support overall cost, you really need to get with your stakeholders in your organization and understand how you're truly using your support model to begin with. Understanding how you're utilizing that support, it's easy to overlook that because currently Microsoft Unified is an all-you-can-eat unlimited model, right? So you don't necessarily have to look at this point in time what you are using, what you're not, because you have access to it. But don't forget, when we talked about earlier, that also disassociates itself because there are additional costs incurred in Microsoft's unified or quote unquote unlimited model. It's not unlimited. The unlimited model is really encompassed to their core offering, which is problem resolution services and do-it-yourself support through Services Hub, which is their portal that customers will access. Outside of that, you are paying additional for all of those services that you think may be unlimited. There's a cost associated. You have to pay for proactive services, projects. Those are all added services, enhanced services, such as Azure Rapid Response, which gives you that more aggressive response time for Azure critical issues. That's a cost associated to it. Support for mission critical, your EDEs, or what they call the designated engineers, or what used to be called the DSEs. Those consultants, those are all additional costs associated to that base unlimited offering. So you need to consider what you're actually using internally. And from there, contact third-party analysts and experts like Gartner, like Dom, like Infotech. Have those discussions. This is what they do day in, day out. They not only help you with negotiating contracts with Microsoft, they can point you in the right direction of use cases on how customers use third parties like US Cloud. Once you get that data, it's really going out there and doing your diligence and having a very set requirements for what your provider can give you, because not all two are the same. US Cloud, I would like to think, is the expert and the foremost pioneer of the third-party Microsoft support area. But there are other players in there, of course. It's not a monopoly, but not all of them are the same. You need to look at things like, what support coverage do you need? Do you need US-based resources? Are you looking at proactive services and consulting on top of your break-fix reactive support need? What level of engineering support do you require? Every customer is a little different on how experienced their IT bench in depth really is. Understanding what that model looks like, understanding how it can assist the customers in their areas of support need, because not all partners support all Microsoft technologies. We've got the easy button because US Cloud supports the entire Microsoft stack. Not all partners will do that. Some of them are focused strictly on cloud technologies, leaving the on-prem technologies like Windows Platform, which is Windows Server, Windows Desktop, and other things like Active Directory, on-prem SCCM, SQL, you name it, kind of off the list of things that they truly support. Or if they state they have limited support capabilities in some of those areas, that basically means you're going to get a bottom tier resource that's not going to help your organization solve that issue. So doing all of these things really is a best practice on how to look at the service, budget your service, and then go and compare and contrast. Do these partners offer a POC as an example? Do they throw skin in the game with financially backed SLAs like US Cloud does? These are very important things to ensure the level of service is the highest that your organization can utilize.
Okay, we've got a question here from an attendee. Looks like maybe I inspired this question from Ria, who's wondering, can you share success stories of companies that transitioned from Microsoft Unified to US Cloud and the budget and service impacts they experienced? Like, kind of a big question.
Yeah, I'll summarize it, without getting into too much detail. But, I would state that most companies report, again, back to that number, because I like to hammer it in, 30 to 50% savings. Most customers will share that we have faster response times. After switching to US Cloud, the engagement and the response is second to none from what we've experienced before. For instance, organizations in sectors like healthcare and tech have improved their operational efficiencies from switching over to US Cloud. And budget predictability for the procurement teams, all the while receiving a superior service through our dedicated engineering teams. Yeah, that's what customers say when they come over to us. It's more than cost, it's quality.
It's more than cost, it's quality. Well, folks, that's all the time we have for this Tech Talk. I want to thank Mike Jones for an informative conversation. As always a pleasure, Mike.
Same here. Thank you, John.
And many thanks to the folks at US Cloud for making this conversation possible. We couldn't have done it without them. Thanks, everyone, and have a great day.